What are some things that are normal to women but mind-blowing to men? Before we start with the first story, please hit a subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Story 1. You are standing in a busy bar and someone wants to pass you. If you are a guy, "Hey, excuse me," little tap on the shoulder, friendly smile and request to move. If you are a girl, someone puts their hands on your waist and tries to move your body away. Story 2. The amount of time it takes to do hair. Don't get me wrong, it looks amazing when done, but the process of a woman getting her hair ready to go out is mind-blowing to me. Washing, drying, styling, etc. I'm sure I've completely butchered process, but I love the finished product and don't mind waiting. Story 3. Going to the doctor for a legitimate problem only to be treated as dramatic, lying, attention-seeking, depressed, overweight, and then outright dismissed because you are female and not getting the help you need. Story 4. I can't believe nobody said this, but birthing. I tried imagining a human growing in my belly, feeling the baby move around and your body changing. Then the thought of knowing that you have to extract this human from your body. It was terrifying. I salute you. Story 5. I don't think I ever seen or knew a guy that had cried in front of another person. So it blew my mind when one of my classmates cried after failing the midterm, but what made it even crazier is another classmate hugged and comforted her. What? Why aren't she in some dark corner crying, avoiding human contact? Story 6. It is amazing to me that women can talk to someone for 10 minutes and know so many details about them. As guys, sometimes I'll have friends that we don't know each other's names till like the third time we have hung out. I started noticing this when I started telling my girlfriend how I made some friends in my first day of classes my senior year of college, and she was asking me all these questions, and I was like, wow, I have no idea any of these answers. Sitting next to her right now and she goes as being a man an excuse to be stupid. Story 7. That sometimes there are lines inside women's bathrooms. I once went to the bathroom just to pee and came out around 10 minutes after. My male friends asked why I took so long. I said because the line was long. They laughed at me and accused me of lying. Story 8. Safety. Last week I was talking to an older friendly neighbor. He is 82. We chatted for about 10 minutes. He invited me in his backyard to show me his olive and fig tree. Told this to my partner. She answered that she would never do this. Even if he is 82, she'll never trust a man who asks her to come in his backyard, alone. Story 9. Constantly being asked if you're pregnant before every little bit of medical care, often multiple times in one visit, if you're in the hospital, just to be safe. And before getting a treatment that's definitely unsafe during pregnancy, like an X-ray or a medication, even your no answer isn't good enough. I haven't had a uterus for 21 years. Doesn't matter. I'm still getting a pregnancy test because patients lie. Story 10. Walking around acting normal while you're bleeding, fatigued, cramping, and more. If someone was experiencing those symptoms as a result of anything else, they'd be on sick leave, or at least communicating to people how they're unwell. But nope, suck it up and go about your day like your uterus isn't trying to murder you. Story 11. I had a woman coworker planning some business travel for herself, and she was deliberately avoiding layover stops that were past a certain length. I asked her why, and she said that if she had to eat at the airport alone in a business outfit, she would be guaranteed to be propositioned, even if she kept her head down in her book or laptop. A lot of married men, too, looking for a quick airport fling. Blew me away, as I had never even thought that would be a thing. Story 12. Having to be cautious and having coping skills for so many daily situations, like walking home at night and changing the street because someone is walking behind you. Having your keys between your fingers in case you have to defend yourself, faking, or actually doing phone calls, avoiding certain areas that are too dark, going different ways to avoid people, packing an extra oversized shirt for the way home from a party or club, telling a friend and sharing your location when going on a date with someone you don't know yet. The list goes on and on. Story 13. Friend of mine called me because she was stranded in a dodgy part of town and needed to just have someone on the phone with her for comfort while she waited for her friend. Men kept talking to her, and she kept telling me how uncomfortable she is. Random dudes just constantly blowing kisses and coming to talk to her. One dude even tried to take her phone from her to talk to me. I've been in that part of town, but I'm 6 feet 3 inches and reasonably athletic. My experience of it was completely different. It was crazy. I could feel through the phone how vulnerable she felt, which I always knew was how it felt, but I had never actually felt it before. Hearing her fend off aggressive men was so nerve-wracking. Story 14. Professionally speaking, getting dismissed, ignored or overlooked, usually in favor of a man. I work in it and was trying to set up a new phone system. My boss, a male, put me in charge of it because I had just done something similar at my previous job. Anyways, I kept telling him that my contact at the company we were switching to kept ignoring me and basically calling my questions stupid when he would answer me. My boss heard me, but didn't fully understand what the issue was until he actually saw it happen. I sent an email asking a question, and it was ignored. He sent an email asking the same question and received an immediate answer. My boss's jaw just dropped. He immediately apologized to me and said that while he knew it happened, he'd never actually seen it done before. He was mortified and actually sent an email to that contact at the phone company saying, when she asks a question, she better get the same attention and response that you would give me. Until that moment, he thought it was something that only happened in theory. It actually blew his mind that it was real. Story 15. How absolutely horrifically painful period cramps can be. Like can't think straight, vomiting, want to die levels of pain. 3 Advil in 45 minutes can get many of us back to good as new though, until 6-8 hours later when it wears off. ETI. I know this shouldn't be normal, but it unfortunately kind of is. I've also talked to gynecologists about it and there isn't much to do besides take birth control, which I don't like the other side effects of. I also only bleed for 4 days and it's a normal to light flow, so endometriosis is unlikely. I'm also pregnant right now and enjoying no periods. ET at 2. I promise I know that endometriosis exists. I'm not looking for advice on my painful periods. I have a gynecologist for this. I appreciate the concern and hope for the best for all the other ladies dealing with this. Story 16. Pain at the doctor's office. My boyfriend was worried a mammogram would hurt me because they squish your boobs a little, and I was like, hey. After getting an IUD put in and samples taken for cervical cancer testing, this will be on the very low end of pain. His mind was blown. He was like, I've been to the doctor so many times and never had a painful experience. Story 17. Recently, a guy friend didn't get why I got my ID out of my wallet and put it in my pocket to go out for a walk. I said I always have my ID on me if I leave my apartment. He didn't understand why I needed to do that just to go for a walk, so I explained it would make it easier to identify my body. He thought I was being morbid. Story 18. How unsafe you inherently feel and how much work it is to maintain a house, and that them doing something after telling them to 100 times actually costs us mental fatigue in terms of micromanaging. Everyone. Being a woman is like being a manager that works in an environment where you can always be raped, assaulted, and are continually disrespected. It took me as a woman 32 years to realize this. The unpaid labor women do. Story 19. Getting approached and commented on near constantly. My husband always thought I was exaggerating until we were on our honeymoon. I was approached and people said gross things to me several times over the week, even with my husband standing right there. He was both shocked and disgusted. It was like any other vacation to me. Honestly, it was one of the better ones in terms of encounters, but I didn't tell him that. Story 20. Just the fact that average-looking or even unattractive women exist, and that the perceived advantages women have in society are not universally applied. Heck, not even usually applied. Most women don't get drinks bought for them in bars. Most women can't get sex whenever they want. Most women don't get the door held for them, don't get those little gifts and courtesies that some think is endemic to the female condition. Women can age, can get fat or sick, and then all those perceived advantages vanish. Average women are invisible. Unattractive women are treated as monsters. The idea that an unattractive woman has a crush on certain men is treated, at best, as a joke, at worst, as a source of horror. The majority of women on Earth will experience all the downsides made explicit in this thread without even the veneer of delicacy that people treat a desirable object, and it won't even be noticed. All right, folks, that's a wrap. If you like more of this, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your thoughts in the comment below. I'll see you in the next video.